I don't know if he's officially dead there or dying. And they cuff him. I watched a little girl crying with a little pink backpack on because she's never going to see her father again. I have a 3.5-year-old daughter. That hits home. Covering what the corporate media covers up. His face was bloody. His head was bloody. That's what was said about the 26-year-old man who was assassinated by ICE earlier this morning in Biddeford, Maine. We're told he was from Colombia, and we're also told he was authorized to work in the United States. Not that it matters. We now have video. It's not the best quality, but it shows this individual was fleeing ICE. Can't really blame him based on the terror they have unleashed against immigrants, U.S. citizens over the last year and a half. And as he was fleeing, it sure seems like an ICE agent put himself in front of the vehicle, then hung on the vehicle and started shooting him in the head. Let me show you the video. I'll stop and start it. Again, not the best quality, but we've zoomed in and made some adjustments so you could see. This is the white vehicle where the victim was driving. We have put a circle around an officer that is going right forward in front of that vehicle. Now the individual, the victim, is starting to turn around, trying to turn away from ICE to flee. We've circled the agent in front. And then you see the agent on the passenger side. It looks like right on the window, hanging on the car. And he shot. And he shot. I'm going to show you that one more time in full motion. So to be clear, this man is trying to flee. Police are taught that if a subject is trying to flee, you don't shoot at them. You don't shoot to kill them. You request for backup, and then you go after them. Here you have him turning his car to flee. You could see the ICE agent darts right in front of the car. This person is not weaponizing their car trying to drive into an ICE agent. The ICE agent is darting, sprinting in front of him, and then hangs on him to the side. The ICE agent is not at jeopardy. He's hanging on the side and then decides to shoot at point blank range into the vehicle. That's what happened. If better quality footage comes out showing something different, I'd be happy to have egg on my face, but it seems pretty clear from the video we already have that this ICE agent decided to thrust himself in front of the car. We also have alarming, evil footage that shows them pulling him out when he already looks lifeless and handcuffing him. Yes, handcuffing him. Let me show you. That is absolute psychosis, psychotic behavior. He is literally lifeless. I don't know if he's officially dead there or dying, and they cuff him. Not like, hey, is there a medic? Call an ambulance. They handcuff a man after shooting through his car, and he's no threat whatsoever. We have seen this before from ICE. This is alarming and criminal. Let me give you details here, some of the details we know about this individual who was a father of a young child who we don't know. There's conflicting reports, but some reports indicate she was in the car. I have not confirmed that, but she was at the scene. That we know. The main immigrant rights coalition identified the victim as a 26-year-old man from Colombia. Buffalo Chittum, the group's executive director, told CNN that the man was on his way to work. The group said the man was authorized to work in the U.S. and was issued a social security number. I mean, it doesn't really matter if he was authorized to work in the United States or not. It would be murder regardless. It doesn't matter if he's an undocumented immigrant. It doesn't matter if he had a work permit. It is a crime to shoot to kill if they are fleeing. It is not a death sentence to flee. ICE, Border Patrol, actually, based on what they do and the terror they've inflicted, it makes sense to try and get out of there. You're damned if you do. If you stay, you could get killed. If you try to flee, you could get killed. I want to read also, this is from the Associated Press. Man shot and killed by ICE in Maine was not the target of a warrant, Senator Angus King says. The motorist killed by ICE officers in a Maine shooting Monday was not the target of the warrant the officers were executing. Senator Angus King said Homeland Security Secretary Mullen told him. It's the second time in a week ICE has used deadly force, and at least the 9th since Trump began his immigration crackdown. Immigrants' rights groups identified the man who was killed as a 26-year-old native of Colombia. King, the senator from Maine, said Mark Wayne Mullen, the DHS secretary, told him the officer opened fire after the man tried to use his vehicle as a weapon against officers in Biddeford, which is 15 miles south of Portland. He was in a vehicle, pulled out in the vehicle, and the term the secretary used was weaponized. Well, I just showed you the video. It sure seems like he was trying to flee and the ICE agent thrust himself in front. Daniel Vocher said he looked out his third floor window after hearing a pop, pop, pop sound and saw a small car turn 90 degrees to the curb with an SUV behind it. The driver was wounded and the car started moving down the street until the SUV hit again, Bocher said. Quote, his face was bloody, his head was bloody, Bocher said, getting choked up. I clearly heard the victim say, I tried to stop. Clearly heard him say that. Bocher said he saw an ICE officer bring a medical bag to where the man was lying before an ambulance and fire truck arrived. At one point, the agent who shot the man walked close to him. Quote, I was emotional, I just let him have it. And he looked at me and said, he tried to run me over or something to that effect. I don't remember his exact words. Mary Hayes, who lives close to where the shooting happened, said the man lived nearby with his wife and daughter. Quote, I watched a wife fall to her knees, looking at her husband's dead body on the ground. Hayes told the Associated Press as she held a piece of cardboard with, quote, no ICE, stop ICE written on it. I watched a little girl crying with a little pink backpack on because she's never going to see her father again. I have a 3.5-year-old daughter. That hits home. When is this terror going to stop, folks? When are we actually going to do something sustainable and long-lasting against this terror? This is not about immigration. This is about white supremacist dog whistling and distraction. Something's got to be done.